everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bless its heart. The bold and the beautiful often seems to give with one hand terrific performances and take with the other scenes that make absolutely no sense. It did exactly that already this week as the Spencer men made peace with startling ease, since Liam decided to totally shrug off the fact that Bill turned loose a remorseless double murderer on LA. But there's an even bigger plot hole staring us in the face every day, and it would appear that the show has no intention of plugging it. Yeah, we're talking about Ivy. Before she returned to LA permanently, she did a flyby during which, you'll recall, she expressed more than a little bit of interest in old flame Liam. She admitted that she frequently thought of him and how close they became, and how close I wished we'd become. She even planted a kiss on him that came off a lot less like the goodbye kind than the to-be-continued sort. Yet since Ivy's been back in LA, nothing. She hasn't called Liam or seen him. Why? And did neither Steffi nor Hope ever mention to him that Ivy had returned? Wouldn't Spencer Publications have covered the launch of Ivy and Elektra's jewelry line at Forrester? Wouldn't he have at least found out that way? By now, we suppose we're all used to bold and beautiful forgetting plot points and expecting us to just go along with it. Not that we should have to, it bears mentioning. Do better. However, this one feels especially strange since Ivy could have perfectly played into the story of Liam dying. He could have asked her to pretend to reunite with him so that he'd have an easier time convincing Hope to get back together with Carter. Then when Liam miraculously survives, here's how, he'd find himself in a real quandary. Does he stand by Ivy, who put her heart on the line to go along with his charade, or admit to Hope that he wants her back? Sorry, Carter. If nothing else, you have to admit that those twists and turns would be a better use of the luminous Ashley Brewer than just playing Ivy as a talk-to for Vapid Elektra. Chapter 1. The countdown begins. Liam Spencer's condition had been a whisper among the Forresters, Spencers, and Logans for weeks now. At first, it had been nothing but a minor dizziness, easily explained away by stress, or so the doctors claimed. But then came the memory lapses, the sudden headaches that left him speechless mid-conversation, and the collapse in Steffi's office that no one could forget. A rare, degenerative neurological disease, the specialist had finally concluded. Aggressive. Terminal. Inoperable. From there, the clock began ticking, and the bold and the beautiful audience braced themselves for the devastating arc of Liam's last days. But then, something didn't add up. Chapter 2. The medical file that shouldn't exist. Bill Spencer stood at the hospital, clutching a thick manila folder labeled with Liam's name. The diagnosis inside had shattered him weeks ago, forcing him into protective mode. But what nagged at him now was something far more sinister. Dr. Kelly Morris, the second opinion neurologist Bill hired discreetly, had just called him flustered. There's no progression in Liam's scans, she said. In fact, they're oddly normal for someone with a terminal condition. Bill blinked. What the hell are you talking about? We were told he had months, if that. I'm telling you, Mr. Spencer, this isn't consistent with any terminal diagnosis. And the original file. There's an anomaly in the report's metadata. The scan dates were altered. Bill's blood ran cold. Are you saying this entire thing could be fake? That was the first crack in the plot hole. Chapter 3. Hope's denial. Hope had been spiraling since the diagnosis. Every night she held Liam close, every morning praying this was all a nightmare. She began documenting everything: Liam's medication, his symptoms, his daily deterioration. But as she reviewed the footage she'd secretly recorded to preserve memories for their kids, inconsistencies jumped out. Some days Liam was sharp, energized, full of life. Other days he could barely stand. It didn't fit. Hope approached Finn quietly, knowing he had the medical insight she lacked. Watch these, she said. Eyes red-rimmed. And tell me I'm not going insane. Finn watched. Rewatched. Then he frowned. His behavior. It's inconsistent with neurological decay. This looks staged, Hope. Her jaw dropped. You think Liam is faking this? Finn hesitated. Or someone else is making it look like he's dying when he's not. Chapter 4. Sheila's Shadow. The revelation came fast and dirty, like so many of Sheila Carter's plots. Steffi, eavesdropping on a hushed conversation between Deacon and a suspicious new doctor in town, heard the unthinkable. Liam was given something, the doctor said. Microdoses over weeks. Hallucinogenic properties. False neurological signs. Sheila paid well to make it happen. Deacon's face was pale. He doesn't know. Not a clue. He thinks he's dying. That was the plan. Steffi burst into the room. What the hell did you just say? And suddenly the show's biggest plot hole yawned open. Liam wasn't dying at all. It had been a setup from the start. Chapter 5. Motive and Madness. Why would Sheila do this? Why make Liam believe he was dying? The answer came in the form of a confession, recorded accidentally by Luna, who had left her phone in Deacon's apartment. On the tape, Sheila's voice was unmistakable. If Liam believes he's dying, he'll cling to his family, and Hope will suffer. I want her broken, alone. I want Steffi back with Finn, with no distractions. I want to own this family. And if Liam thinks his life is ending, he won't question the symptoms. Deacon had tried to talk her down. You're playing God. No, Sheila hissed. I'm taking what should have been mine all along. With that tape, the puzzle pieces aligned, and the gaping plot hole became impossible to ignore. Chapter 6. The Memory That Never Was. While Sheila's plot explained the symptoms and sabotage, one thing still didn't sit right with fans. A flashback Liam had in episode 8921. In it, Liam remembered a moment with his late mother, Kelly, telling him she'd see him soon. Viewers sobbed. Hope clung to him. Brooke and Ridge shared a rare tearful embrace. But if Liam wasn't dying, how did he remember that? Writers scrambled to justify it later, claiming it was a dream or drug-induced hallucination. But it didn't hold up. The moment had been used to prove the severity of his condition. It had motivated Bill's tears and Hope's desperate pleas to marry again before the end. It was retroactive continuity at its weakest, a classic soap opera move, but poorly executed. Fans called it out. Blogs exploded. Liam's ghost Mongate trended online. Chapter 7. The Wedding That Wasn't Real. In a desperate twist, Hope and Liam remarried. Vows were exchanged under soft candlelight, with Ridge officiating and Brooke sobbing in the front row. But now, the entire wedding felt like emotional manipulation. Did the writers really make us mourn Liam just to unravel it all a month later? Asked one critic. This isn't shocking, it's lazy. Worse yet, Sheila's involvement made the entire plot feel external. Liam had no agency. Hope's grief was used as a prop. And Steffi, once again, had been positioned as the innocent bystander while chaos reigned around her. The emotional weight of the wedding was obliterated. Chapter 8. Finn's Gamble. Determined to expose the truth, Finn confronted Bill with the medical inconsistencies. Bill, already suspicious, finally decided to act. He hired private investigators, subpoenaed hospital records, and even tracked the original neurologist, who had gone off-grid shortly after diagnosing Liam. What they found: a falsified license, offshore bank deposits, and direct links to someone using the alias Annie Monroe, one of Sheila's many known identities. Bill confronted Sheila in front of everyone at El Giardino. You tried to kill my son without lifting a finger, he spat. You made him believe he was dying. You made us grieve him while he was standing right in front of us. Sheila only smiled. Is he dead? She asked, eyes twinkling. Then my hands are clean, but the damage was done. The reveal, though powerful, couldn't erase the plot inconsistencies. Chapter 9. The Emotional Fallout. Hope couldn't stop shaking. You let me believe I was losing you. she whispered to Liam. You didn't fight. You didn't question, you just accepted it. Liam looked broken. I believed it. The doctors. The symptoms. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to spend my last days fighting something I couldn't beat. You were never dying, Liam. Steffi turned on them both. And what about me? I comforted you, defended you, almost sacrificed my marriage to Finn because I thought you deserved peace. Rage stepped in. This wasn't Liam's fault. Sheila played us all. But the truth was this. The emotional moments now felt hollow. The audience had wept for nothing. The writers had leaned on cheap tricks, only to rip the rug out for a gasp. It wasn't clever, it was cruel. Chapter 10. Luna's Rage, RJ's Suspicion. In the aftermath, Luna took center stage. Her recording had been the key to exposing Sheila. But she wasn't done yet. I want to know how far this goes, she said. Who else helped Sheila? No one does this alone. RJ stood beside her, face clouded. What if it wasn't just Sheila? The theory? Someone in the hospital staff, maybe even if Forrester or Logan, had helped facilitate the plot. Luna hacked the hospital's patient log system. What she found, a nurse had been reassigned. A dosage report altered. And Steffi's own assistant, recently hired, was previously employed at a prison where Sheila had once been incarcerated. Another plot twist. Another rabbit hole. Chapter 11. Eric's Accusation. Eric Forrester, tired of the chaos, stood before the family with an accusation that rocked the room. Donna told me something, he said. She heard Katie arguing with Sheila a month ago, before Liam's diagnosis. Gasps filled the air. Katie? The sweet, moral heart of the Logan clan. Katie was cornered. She confessed. Sheila told me Liam was terminal. I didn't know it was a lie. But when I found out, I didn't come forward. I was afraid. Bill exploded. Afraid? Of what? That Hope would collapse. That Steffi and Finn would implode. That we'd all fall apart, so I kept quiet. Eric shook his head. Then you're just as guilty. Katie's silence spoke volumes. Chapter 12. The plot hole no one could fix. As Sheila was arrested, again, and Deacon begged for forgiveness, the characters were left to pick up the pieces. But the damage wasn't just in universe. The fans were reeling. This was lazy, wrote one reviewer. We were manipulated into grief, then told none of it mattered. Social media fumed. Liam's last day's plotline was the emotional centerpiece of the season, and now it's pointless. The flashback with his mom. Literal hallucination. I call foul. How does no one at the hospital notice someone isn't dying? Come on. The bold and beautiful writers had painted themselves into a corner. They tried to escape through a paper-thin retcon. And in doing so, they created a mile-wide plot hole that shattered the emotional foundation of months' worth of storytelling. Chapter 13. What comes next? Liam, still reeling, left Los Angeles for a soul-searching journey. Hope remained behind, questioning everything. Finn doubled down on his protective stance with Steffi, Luna and RJ. Deep in the investigation that might change Forrester Creations forever. And Sheila? In a padded cell, humming an old lullaby, already plotting her next move. But no matter what came next, the bold and the beautiful had crossed a line. They made us cry, then told us it was all fake. And as the credits rolled, all anyone could say was, wait, was Liam ever actually dying? The silence that followed was deafening. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTVFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.